Okay, thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for clicking the little bell. We just found the reason why all of these companies have gone woke. Let's get into this.
Why can't I say no? Each time you call me, I'm thinking, you're making me think.
If you've been alive for the last 2 or 3 years, you've noticed all of these companies, okay, they've gone woke. We all know what that means. I don't have to explain what that means. You can see it. Now, whether it's the whole Dylan Mulvaney thing, whether it's them making commercials that are obviously whatever, it's happening, and we can all see it. And this explains why. From the New York Post, inside the CEI system, pushing brands to endorse celebrities like Dylan Mulvaney. And you have to understand, this is all because of business. That's all that this is. It's just a simple way to control the society by controlling the businesses, companies. Executives at companies like Nike, Anheuser-Busch, and Kate Spade, whose brand endorsements have turned controversial trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney into today's woke it girl, aren't just virtue signaling. They're handing out lucrative deals to what were once considered fringe celebrities because these people don't represent the consumer base, like with the beer. Trans people don't drink beer. They like that sophisticated shit. They like wine. They like whatever else they consider sophisticated. Okay, that's what they like. They don't like beer. They think beer is for people like me, for men. Okay, dudes that don't like any of that woke crap. That's what they think. Or risk failing an all-important social credit score that could make or break their business. There it is right there. Social credit score. At stake is their Corporate Equality Index, or CEI score, which is overseen by the Human Rights Campaign, the largest LGBTQ plus political lobbying group in the world. There it is. This one lobbying group has figured out a way to own all of these companies. So now that's why it's all changing into ways that normal people don't like. That's just the word for it. HRC, which has received millions from George Soros, not going to go into it, Open Society Foundation, among others, issues report cards for America's biggest corporations, Nike, Anheuser-Busch, Oil of Olay. I think is it Oil of Olay or just Olay? But you know what I mean. Awarding biggest corporations via the CEI, awarding or subtracting points for how well companies adhere to what HRC calls its rating criteria. This is how they control them. Businesses that attain the maximum 100 total points earn the coveted title Best Place to Work for LGBTQ Equality. 15 of the top 20 Fortune-ranked companies received 100% ratings last year, according to HRC data. Now, this right here shows you why the companies don't actually care. Because the companies don't care about what you or I have to say about their marketing campaigns. They don't care if we don't like it. They don't care if we don't buy their products. They simply care about this CEI. That's all they care about is the CEI. And what is it called? Corporate Equality Index. Literally, that's all they care about. More than 840 U.S. companies racked up high CEI scores. 840. You see? So that's why when you look around and you're like, damn, why is every single company doing this? Why is everybody doing it? And it's all happening all at once. And everybody has their theories why. Everybody has their commentary as to why. But it's right there. CEI, Corporate Equality Index. That's why. Okay, the HRC, which was formed in 1980 and started the CEI in 2002, is led by Kelly Robinson, who was named as president in 2022 and worked as a political organizer for Barack Obama 2008 presidential campaign. We don't get political on this channel, but you can hear it in my voice. The HRC lists 5 major rating criteria, each with its own lengthy subsets for companies to gain or lose points, and you can see it right there. This is basically why all of these companies are doing this, and they don't give a shit about all the backlash. So basically, it's like this. Oh man, we're doing all this woke stuff, and we're doing it, and nobody likes it out there. And then the voice on the side is like, well, you're not getting a good score. All that matters is your CEI score. And they're like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just keep on doing it, even though everybody out there hates what I'm doing and I'm getting backlash for it. The only thing that matters is the CEI score. That's it. So let's look at this. Woke rating. Advocacy group Human Rights Campaign introduced the 100-point Corporate Equality Index to score companies on their inclusiveness. This has nothing to do with actually selling products. It has nothing to do with selling beer for Anheuser-Busch. It has nothing to do with selling shoes for Nike. It has nothing to do with selling makeup for Olay. It all has to do with being inclusive. Well, number one, workforce protections, 5 points possible. No discrimination for employment or sexual orientation or gender identity, unless you're a white straight male. Just cut that out. No, don't. Okay, number two, inclusive benefits, 50 points possible. Criteria here includes providing health care for sex couples. What? What are you talking about for sex couple? What does that mean? Sex. Are you trying to say same sex? See, exactly. Number three, supporting an inclusive culture. It has nothing to do with selling products, has nothing to do with making money, doesn't have anything to do with anything. All they care about is supporting an inclusive culture. 25 points, including gender-neutral dress codes and trans-inclusive restrooms and facilities policy. Now, the gender-neutral dress code one, the dress code, like, I don't really think anybody cares. I mean, women wear pantsuits all the time. I like pantsuits. I like my women to wear pantsuits. I don't know why. It's because they're so hot. I grew up in the 90s where the chicks had the shoulder pads and they had the suits on. That was pretty hot, but that's my deal. See, now, like, women, I mean, what? It's not like they have to go in skirts always or only dresses. So I don't know what they mean by that. Gender neutral dress code, whatever. Number four, corporate social responsibility. Marketing or advertising to LGBTQ consumers, which would include Nike and Bud Light's use of transgender spokesperson Dylan Mulvaney. Well, there it is. Everybody has their theories. Everybody has an idea of why. But right here, you either listen to these people or you get a bad grade. That's basically what this is. You either do it or you're not going to get 100. You're not going to get an A plus. Because you're not inclusive. See, but the problem that none of these companies understand is that you're being inclusive for this stupid score, but you're excluding everybody else. So it's not really inclusive, because inclusive is supposed to mean everybody, even though we know it doesn't. It's really exclusive. It's like only LGBT plus Q, AI, 1797, X, Y, however many things there are. Number five, responsible citizenship, minus 25 points deducted. Okay, points deducted if a company gives money to organizations whose primary mission includes advocacy against LGBTQ equality, which is not defined but could include Christian groups. I told you, it's just simply about exclusion. They call it inclusivity, so that way you can include the LGBTQ, 1987, 89, 90, plus crowd, but really you're and they just admitted it, which could include Christian groups. So essentially, if you're Christian, no, we're excluding you because we don't like you. See, like, this is essentially exclusion. So whenever you hear these people talking about inclusion, just remember they're full of shit. That's all they are. They're lying to you right to your face. And it says it right there, which is not defined but could include Christian groups. See, whenever you hear anybody say, oh, we have to think about inclusion. Okay. You're talking about inclusion, so who are you excluding? White, straight, Christian. So it's not inclusion. It's not diversity. See, when they say diversity, that's what they mean. They simply mean no white, no straight, no Christian. That's what they mean. Okay, a company can lose CEI points if it doesn't fulfill HRC's demand for integration of intersectionality in professional development, skills-based or other training, if it doesn't use a supplier diversity program with demonstrated effort to include LGBT plus Q 1987 plus suppliers. James Lindsay, a political podcaster who runs a site called New Discourses, told The Post that the Human Rights Campaign administers the CEI ranking like an extortion racket. And we can all see it. And that's why you're seeing it the way it's happening, where it's like you look around and you're like, okay, well, they're woke now. And then you look around and it's like, oh, well, they're woke now too. And then you start looking around, you're like, holy shit, everybody's woke. Whoa, hold on, what is happening? And you freak out and you're like, what is happening? Why is everything happening all at once? Right there. Oh, if you're not a supplier, you're not going to get 100. Okay, you're not getting 100. See, like, no, dude, it's so stupid. It's basically an extortion racket. It really is. It just doesn't sit back passively either. HRC sends representatives to corporations every year telling them what kind of stuff they have to make visible at the company. You're being controlled with the stuff that you buy by this one group of people. What is their name again? HRC. What does that stand for? Human Rights Campaign. Okay, there we go. It means Human Rights Campaign. I totally forgot. It was right there, but it's in the really smaller words. So when this one single group of people, HRC, Human Rights Campaign, they obviously don't believe in human rights. They believe in one sort of people's rights. Do you see? So that's why I say that when you hear the term inclusive, it's not actually inclusive. And by the way, this has nothing to do with race, because if you're a black person or a brown person or an Asian person and you don't agree with this, then they call you white. Then that's the way it is. And I don't know, this was a very, very risky video to make because I don't know if it's going to be monetized. See, I think that making this kind of content is going to get demonetized, but at the same time, I'm tired of, we got some Meghan Markle coming up. Don't worry. Meghan's still making headlines. She's still a topic, not a hot one, but a topic. Okay. The CEI is a lesser known. Hold on. Where did I miss it? Where am I going? Let's see. Okay. A company can lose CEI points if it doesn't fill suppliers. James Lindsay, it doesn't sit back passively either. HRC sends representatives. They give them a list of demands. And if they don't follow through, there's a threat that you won't keep your score. It has nothing to do with selling you products. All they care about is this stupid score. See, that's why it all makes sense now. It all makes sense now. The CEI is a lesser known part of the burgeoning ESG, environmental, social, and corporate governance, ethical investing. In other words, which is funny because if you actually look into that ESG crap, a lot of the people that are in that are people like big oil. Like, you're supposed to be the ones they're fighting against, but it's really big oil companies that are the highest in this. Big oil, what else? Big auto, big pharma, like those, all the companies that are really, really huge and they really affect the world, and like they're badly, and they really affect the world. Those are the companies that are in this. Ethical investing. It's supposed to be green energy, but just as long as you say you're investing ethically, they don't care, and you get the score, and that's all that matters. All that matters is the score. You see? So it's literally our entire society now is being controlled by this one group, HRC. Okay, going on. As a result, okay, let's see. ESG funds invest in companies that oppose fossil fuels, even though big oil is in this ESG stuff. That's what's hilarious. And look it up. You can go and find it. I'm not going to do that, but you know what I mean. Push for unionization and stress racial and gender equity over merit in hiring. Well, none if you're white. I'm just saying. And board selection. As a result, some American CEOs are more concerned about pleasing BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street Bank. This is all about pleasing these small group of people that think they can tell us all what to do. And that's why it makes so much sense now. Who are among the top shareholders of most American publicly traded corporations, Nike, Anheuser-Busch, Kate Spade, than they are about irritating conservatives. Numerous sources told the Post. This week, Mulvaney's new ad campaign with Bud Light and Nike ruffled the feathers of critics from country star. Okay, yeah, we don't need to know about any of that crap. We got female Olympians, Caitlyn Jenner, yada, yada, yada. They're all talking shit about Dylan Mulvaney. And really, the guy's just a con artist. That's all he is. He's gay. He's not actually trans, even though they're trying to push it off like a trans thing. The guy's gay. He's just gay. He would be a normal member of society, but he's like pawning himself out for all of this stuff. In 2018, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, who oversees assets worth $8.6 trillion, has been called the face of ESG, wrote a infamous letter to CEOs titled A Sense of Purpose. One dude. But look how much money he looks after. One guy. A sense of purpose that pushed with a new model of governance in line with ESG values. Society is demanding that companies, both public and private, serve a social purpose, Fink wrote. To prosper over time, every company must not only deliver financial performance, but also show how it does make a positive contribution to society. And that's what I've said before. When they say that, positive contribution to society, or there was another article we read where they were talking about Meghan and Harry and how what they thought was the good, right? Positive contribution to society, good. When these people say these words, they don't mean the same thing that they actually mean to you and I. They don't mean that. Like when you and I hear the words positive contribution to society, we think, oh, we're going to be an upstanding member of society. You know, we're going to be someone that follows the rules and all that kind of stuff. That's not what they're talking about. All they're talking about is pushing some type of agenda, whatever they want. That's all that they're talking about. So that's why you need to understand. Same thing with inclusivity. When these people say these words, they're not actually saying those words. They're saying what they mean to them. So when someone says positive contribution to society, they're saying, well, how can I make the world more inclusive? How can I make the world more the way I want to see it? It's not about actually making it better for everybody, just like inclusive is not about being inclusive if you're white, straight, and a man. Like, that's what it is. Okay? Fink also let it be known that if a company doesn't engage with the community and have a sense of purpose, it will ultimately lose the license to operate from key stakeholders. So essentially, you can't even do business if you don't listen to these people. There it is. There it is. If you don't listen to HRC and all those woke rules that we just talked about, and this Fink guy, what is his name? Larry Fink. Sounds like a douchebag. If you don't listen to these people, you can't even do business. You can't even run your company. That's why. That makes so much more sense now. ESG and CEI proponents say that adhering to socially conscious values, see, socially conscious, when they say those things, you and I are supposed to hear that and be like, oh, wow, they're socially conscious. They care about the society we live in. They're conscious about it. No. All they mean is pushing the agenda that they see fit, that they want to see. That's it. Socially conscious values when investing and managing a company will make the world a better place. When they say that, again, will it be a better place for you and I? Probably not. But they don't give a shit. They could care less. They could care less about you and I. They simply care about their own view of the world. And like I said earlier, look how much money this man oversees. $8.6 trillion. One guy. Okay, let's end this. Investing and managing a company will make the world a better place. Not everyone agrees. And that is the genuine truth, because as we can see with the Nike thing and with the Bud Light thing, and really, I think you need to understand, it's something to where you have to go and do research to find out which companies, but it said 840 companies, so I think that might be everybody. I think everybody's doing it. Honestly, I think that this is something to where you just, I don't know if I would want to give people advice and say, oh, boycott this and don't buy that. But it's really now something to where you have to research what you're buying. And if you're giving money to these people, then you're feeding into that where they want to view society consciously, you see, which basically just means push society in the direction that they want. That's all it means.